start, then press the button. Okay, welcome to the unknown number episode of the FD podcast. I'm just kidding. It's episode 2. This is a recorded podcast only because the guest I have here today works night shift, so she would be unable to join us for a live episode. So I'm taking the opportunity to have a conversation with her today. Today is October 5th, 2020. It is about to be noon, and I am joined today by a really close friend, a mentor, and someone I could literally geek out with other podcasts too. This is Chazelle Sison, or as I like to call her, CJ. So CJ, when you're ready, please introduce yourself formally.
Wait, I can't help laughing. Okay. Hi, I'm CJ.
There we go. If everyone could see us now, we're actually a very giggly pair. Like, we've gotten in a lot of trouble in our past job. Well, my past job, her current job, where we would get in trouble of because we're too loud together. They have to separate us.
A lot of
Hey,
a lot of times, man.
Yeah, that's. But anyway, so I've met this really unique individual. What, about 2 years ago, 2018?
It was funny.
I think when we met, we were just doing the
orientation thing.
Yeah, the orientation thing, and we were with a lot of individuals that were
I can remember was it was full of older people, and obviously we were kind of left out there. It looked like we were the youngest, so we kind of jive hey, hi.
It's this. I mean, one, not to make any assumptions, just I knew she's Asian, of Asian descent, and I knew that she's probably closer in age. And I was just I think she might be someone I could talk to. She looks like an ate. Ate means older sister in Tagalog. So I was just she might be someone I could talk to. And luckily, thank God, goodness, she was that person for me there, because I would have not survived my old job if I didn't have her there.
Yeah, it's good thing I have a friend now. Okay, we can do this.
Yeah, especially when we had long nights. For the viewers that are English, for the viewers who will eventually see this episode, so CJ and I, we worked night shift together, and we've often spent a lot of our nights working constantly through a lab. And what would happen is that during those long hours into the night, we get a little loopy. So we get a little stupid crazy. And we would just start blathering on about really, really stupid stuff. And
complaining about everything.
Everything, anything. I don't know. It was we're well attached to each other. Then when one of us is off that day, or they call that sick, I know that some of our other lab mates are yeah, where is she? Or where's the other one? It's I don't know, and I'm sad, lonely. It's wow, you're so quiet without her. It's yeah, I know. It sucks.
Remember that time when I was out for 3 weeks? Oh no, 2 weeks.
Yeah, you were out for 2 weeks. I couldn't, well, I mean, I could function, but I was just man, I have so much I want to tell her, but she's on the other side of the world right now.
Yeah. I think I went to Bali that time.
Yeah, you were in Bali.
I think I went to Bali.
Yeah, and you're sending cute photos of yourself. Obviously, she is.
Hey, that was me too when you were in Japan.
Hey! Gotta go visit my home country. I gotta do what was necessary. Or what makes it. But for anyone who needs to know a little bit more about CJ, she is a year older than me. She is how am I supposed to describe this? Kind of like Michelle Phan, makeup artist. You are. Hey, I need to make sure which one's because I know you do makeup, and I know you do makeup art, kind of you paint scenes on your face. So from anime or anime films like Studio Ghibli, I know you did one for that. I know you just today, I believe it's today or last night, you did the Attack on Titan face.
Yeah.
It really creeped me out in the middle of the night because I wasn't ready for it. But if you'd like to see more of her work, please later on, check down the YouTube description on below to follow her stuff on Instagram. And then if you'd like some other extra business inquiries, like she could do your makeup, just give her a call. Finger her right there.
Well, maybe when the pandemic is like okay, because like right now the beauty industry is kind of off right now.
Yeah,
like, how are you gonna do your
how are you do your makeup safely?
social distance?
I mean, it's cool though, because I know that you've been meaning to practice that hobby, make it into a career in the future once you have like schooling done for it, or then like you take up master classes by other professional makeup artists out there who are sharing their stuff online. So I think that's pretty amazing, because we're all budding artists at the same time, and I didn't mute my phone. Gee,
Yeah.
I can't swear. Okay. Caught myself there. But that's essentially what CJ does in her, I guess, like spare time, right? In the mornings or in the evenings before you go to work.
Yeah, I kind of sometimes like wake up really early during the weekends just so I can get it done. Because sometimes like it would like really take me hours to do it, because it's either I procrastinate or I just break down. Like, oh my god, I can't do this, but I gotta do it.
But it looks lovely. It's kind of just like,
thank you.
You just have to do it sometimes, and then you could be surprised.
No, but it's also like a mental therapy, right? Like that's how it is with you with drawing. Like I love your drawings.
Oh, thank goodness. Yes, I've been practicing. That's the reason why I've been doing today's October, or this month is October, so I've been doing that Inktoberfest that I swear I'm gonna finish this year. I said that last year. I've gotten close. I did 20.
You said that last year.
Hey, shut up. I did it for 20 days, and then I forgot exactly what happened from day 21 to the 31st.
I think you just faded.
Hey, every year I'm getting closer to finishing one, so I could say that I did it. So I mean, more or less. But yeah, so that's a little bit about the two of us, is that we do spend a lot of time connecting, talking about our experiences growing up, then sharing our really, really creative really creative, God, I can't English today, really creative content to each other, because as we're in COVID-19, it's hard for us to see each other, and also because like our schedules are not necessarily the same anymore. So like the best way that we could support each other is to be active on each other's social media accounts. Be like, oh, I love your work, like, share, comment, make sure that our names get out there somewhere in the world, especially with CJ telling me I should put this on Spotify. So I will put this on Spotify.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
just give me the weekend to do it, okay?
I'm gonna smash that follow button.
Oh, thank you. And then for everyone who's listening right now, smash that subscribe button, ding the bell button.
Ding, 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 ding.
And then make sure to leave, like, if you like to leave a comment, just put, even a heart. Well, let me know that you
were love, man.
Show some love. Anyways, so we're gonna move on to our discussions about our childhood. Yes, there is a topic for today. It is talking about the differences of our childhoods growing up, and as far as how we grew up as girls into strong, independent women. It's very different for the two of us. So I'll start first. So I was not born here in the United States. I was actually born in another country. I was born in Japan, but not on U.S. territory. So I can't say that I was a U.S. citizen right from the start. Right. So as far as my knowledge goes, is I was claimed, at least the way that my mom and my dad had stated, is I was claimed by the Philippines. So I guess if I could go to the Philippines right now, I could get
claimed.
There's like a specific phrase for it, but I could claim Filipino citizenship if I went to the Philippines, because both my parents are full-blooded Filipinos. But I couldn't do the same for Japanese citizenship. Otherwise, I would have to reject my U.S. citizenship. So anyways, as we moved to America, I eventually gained U.S. citizenship by being naturalized. And I had to sign a pretty paper, and then hooray! U.S. citizenship. But yeah, I know. But since I was raised both in Japan and here, I have two different types of cultures when it comes to like development as a girl into a woman. You have the mix of the conservative lifestyle that most Filipino girls traditionally go through, and then you have a independent and open type of culture for American girls or any like citizen. This is really weird. Any girl will go through in America if they were born as Americans. Very independent, very open, very proud in the best way. And I know CJ, that's kind of like the same for you, except you came here a lot later. You want to explain that?
So like I was born in the Philippines, obviously. I was I was born in a province. I pretty much like grew up in the Philippines. I did my schooling there. I finished my college there. I even started like a job for like almost 2 years there, and then really didn't expect to move here. Like I really did not expect to move here because I'm like well over the limit age, but somehow like my mom made it happen, so I moved here. So I was, and in the first place, I already accepted that I would probably just live on my own or live with my dad, and my younger brother and sister would just come with my mom, and I would just visit from time to time. But then, like, I've been here for 2 years now, right? Like almost 3 years, 2.5 years, I guess. And then 2 years ago, when I found out I was moving, I was like, whoa, like. I did not prepare for this mentally. Like it was, to be honest, it was both a good and bad way. Cause like that bittersweet feeling. And then it's like, I don't want to leave, but then I want to leave, but like I ended up just leaving because I haven't going here because I haven't seen my mom for like, many years already. And yeah, here I am now.
Woo!
Woo!
I'm glad because I know it's a lot difficult now to have that
it is.
transfer of residency from, some place like the Philippines all the way here to America. And then because you did it so, I can't say so late, but did it later as an adult instead of a child, it's a lot different because you've already made your life there. And then starting
kind
over.
of like, yeah, I kind of have like a mindset already, like, oh, this is what I'm gonna do, and then I'm gonna build on this, build on that, then I'm gonna, you know how it is, like when you want to start something, it really takes a lot to invest in, time to invest in, like, and then for all of that to be like kind of removed away from you because you're gonna start anew again. It's kind of like that way for me because like. Okay, I'm not gonna name drop my age. I'm 25. So
age drop.
Well, I'm still young.
I mean, yes.
I'm still young. But like moving here at this age, like my mind is already like kind of mature. So like starting over again, like starting over from like credit cards, residency. I'm technically like an alien immigrant here for now. Like I have to build that up to be naturalized, to like know what I want for my future career here in the US. Like it's a lot to take in. Even now, especially when this pandemic started, like everything like just overwhelms me. So like basically I'm just going through the motions right now, like to be honest.
Oh yeah, like you've mentioned that it was hard to start over, especially when it came to the schooling system, that it's not apples to apples, it's apples to oranges, because the credits or the units or whatever the schools define their courses, it's not the same, even though it can be. It's different standards for different times, but it's a lot difficult. And I know I don't give you enough credit for that you had to, like, you're already essentially, you finished college, now you technically got to do it over again because of the US standards.
That too, like I'm still like thinking about it, like do I really want to do this, like do I really want to do this, or I can do this and the other. My head space is still like in a rut right now, like especially this pandemic really like did it for me. It's like, let me just stand back and just think it through, because well, I've experienced schooling for like last semester. I experienced going to school here, and it really didn't really culture shock me, but like it was kind of a great experience because I get to experience like a different culture. Because here it was really like on your own, do it yourself.
Yeah.
It was like that in the Philippines, but it's not as like on your own here. Because in the Philippines, you can do it. You can do like take subjects on your own, talk to teachers on your own, fix your own like grades or something. But they're more like really hands on there. Not like here. Like it's like if you want to talk to them, you better go to their office. You better really contact them because it's not only you who's like they're talking to, like they're accommodating, right? So like
Oh, dude, stresses me out.
I was like, okay.
Honestly, doing that, like you said, that part in other countries, like they tend to be very hands-on. It's not that they care more about their students than
It's
the
just
American
their
professors.
I think it's just culture difference,
Mm-hmm.
right? Kind of, I mean,
yeah, like in the Philippines or in a majority of Asian countries, you tend to be like
yeah,
group cooperative. Like I will help you and you will also help me because that's how we both grow together. Then,
exactly.
not to like generalize every Asian country out
Just
there.
our experiences, right?
Yeah, just our experiences. And then, here in America, it's kind of like you need to be able to do this yourself because at the end of the day, you only got you. So if you didn't take the initiative to talk to
Yeah,
your professor, that's gonna be your loss in the future if
yeah,
you didn't
like
get your question answered, or if you are struggling. It's like you got to take that step forward. But for people like us, we're a little
yeah.
bit anxious. We're a little shy.
Oh my, you know how anxious I can be. Like I can really like nag the heck out of you.
Yeah, like even when it comes to ordering food, when we're out
Even the
together,
littlest of things.
we are just like CJ, you go do it. It's like no, you do it. It's like no, I can't.
I
I can't.
remember that.
It's like that sometimes. But before we get carried away here, those are just some of our background experiences from where we're born and where we are now. So I want to transition into something like, since CJ, I didn't have that experience where I grew up completely in one country and then moving here. When it comes to healthcare, or in case women's healthcare, what was that like for you in the Philippines? Like, where you said you were from a province, right? So,
Yeah.
to my knowledge, this might sound super ignorant, but because you're growing in a province, that to me that sounds like you probably may or may not have a hard time accessing clinics, pharmacies, hospitals. From as the time you were a girl up until now, what was that like for you?
So for starters, I was born in a province, but then I moved a lot. So
Okay.
I was born in my dad's province, and then we lived there for a while. We came from really humble beginnings. We didn't have much before, like so it was kind of hard at first for in terms of healthcare, but like I didn't remember all of that because I was really young by then. I moved from one province to another, and then eventually when my parents became a little bit financially secure, we moved to Manila. That's where all of my memories are in. Like I grew up in the metro, and to be honest with you, I've been exposed to everything medically related because my mom worked at a pharmaceutical industry for like 15 years. So I
Right.
grew up being really informed thanks to my mom, being having access to really good healthcare.
Oh,
That's for me. Yeah, so I didn't really have a hard time accessing healthcare since my mom works at a really good company. Then we were under like really good medical plans. We were like referred to the best doctors there. To be honest with you, all of the in general, Philippine healthcare there is really good. It's high
okay.
standard, but yeah, it's high standard. But the thing is, there are a lot of medical practitioners, nurses, and whatnot. But the thing is, since it's a third world country, they don't have that much advanced facilities there. Like both the private and the public sectors in healthcare there, have both really good doctors, have provide good medical care. But then the difference is when you're provided private care, you tend to be taken care of like more accurately and more faster than with public care. Because like if you just access public healthcare, it's like harder because they don't have enough facilities, they're understaffed, and when you live in rural areas, you can't access any hospital or clinic right away. So that's the thing that's really hard there. You know how it is with third world countries.
Yeah, I mean, like, not to make assumptions for any third world country, but for at least for the Philippines, whenever I visited when I was younger, we stayed in my mother's province. I think we're about 2 or 3 hours away from Manila. I think Zambales, San Antonio, right? So we usually get referred to in-house remedies, right? Just so we could save the trip from going to at least like a hospital or a clinic.
Mostly all of the good hospitals, doctors, clinics are mostly in the metro, or like if it's in a province, it's mostly like in the main city in a province. So it's much hard. There's a lot of poverty-stricken areas in the Philippines, since it is a third world country. And what they usually need, they constantly needing there now is like hospitals, more clinics. But since you know how like not enough budget, you can't build right away, always understaffed, and of course the people are so poor they can't even afford to go there.
You have
That's the hardest part.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine. And like you said, you were a lot more financially stable than say like the average citizen who is experiencing relative or absolute poverty.
I have relatives who are like in that situation. Like we try to help them as much as we can, but I have relatives like sometimes they couldn't go to a hospital, so like they would just rely on like herbal medicines or like the albulario. You know that term, albulario. I don't know what the English term they're like. They just rely on that instead of going to the doctor.
Oh, that that hurts. It hurts different. Yeah, it's because did you have any stories? I don't know if this really counts in this way. You said that your mom was a pharmacist there for 15 years. Was there ever an instance where you had to turn, or you witnessed that your mother or her staff had to turn someone away from like to get medicine just because they couldn't afford it? Was there a lot of instances like that?
No, my mom worked in the pharmaceutical industry. She wasn't a pharmacist.
It's not the pharmacist. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah, she worked at a multinational company. She was a product specialist. She handled like certain top products and then talked to doctors. Right. Yeah.
Right. Okay, so you didn't really get to see like someone's access getting.
No, she was in a corporate world, so I didn't.
So she's separated from all that.
Yeah, but there were times because I was also in that industry before I moved here. I worked in the pharmaceutical industry, so there were times before when I was young. She would converse to doctors. They would like being a product specialist is like a variety of work. Not only do you promote your company's top products to your top doctors, you also organize events. Sometimes those events include charity. Sometimes those events include medical access to rural areas, and for people to get to know that there is access available for them. Or sometimes they have like monthly donations of certain healthcare products. Like that.
Okay, so that your mother, or at least you two, since you guys worked in that pharmaceutical company, you were a little bit distant from regularly interacting with the public. Well, public on a day to day, like in terms like a day to day versus like things like charity.
Yeah, we were more in contact with the actual doctors,
right?
In hospitals, in clinics.
Yeah,
so not really the patients.
Yeah, I know that it's weirder because I guess weirder in the sense that like we would want to help, at least when in the lab that we worked on here in America, is that we like to always do charity events, or we did organized walks.
Fun runs.
Yeah, fun runs and
Yeah.
stuff like that, because we want to open the access. Like, please get tested for, please get tested. Like, do yearly checkups. Check on your health. You know, check your blood pressure every year. How have you been doing? Has your cardiovascular health been good? Do you have history of cancers or anything? So, you know, that's how, in our experience, how we've tried to reach out to the public. But, you know, it's also like the public, depending on how they feel or how they trust, sometimes they don't want to. Or they're like, nah. It's like, nah, I don't want to do it.
To each their own.
Yeah, to each their, like, I don't want to do it right now. I'm too busy. It's too expensive, because some of the thing, if you're not covered by medical insurance, so it could get very expensive, especially if you're
medical insurance is like a big thing.
Oh, it's a different type
like,
of
you need to do it. You cannot do it, because if you don't have, you're in trouble. I mean, at least here.
Like, this is a really funny segue to step into this. So, we're speaking about medical insurance or any type of insurance. CJ actually gave me a little bit of an accident a year or so ago. She chipped my tooth.
Oh my god, those were the good times.
She chipped my tooth, and so I had to do a quick emergency. It was not really emergency, but it was kind of like, oh crap, you know, I need to get this fixed. So I reached out to my dentist, right? It's like, can you do like some emergency dental work for me? They're like, yeah, sure. It's like, do you have insurance? I'm just like, insert swear word here. Insert so many swear words here. And the bill, if I remember.
I can't believe that was like 2 years ago. Right, 2 years ago. Anyway.
So for the dentist, they had to ask me, hey, do you have insurance? And I'm like, yes, but unfortunately, the insurance I had at the time was not applicable to them. So I unfortunately still had to pay out of pocket, and it was expensive. And I'm like, this is so annoying.
You need to get insurance.
Yeah, well, I mean, I had insurance. It's just, it wasn't the right.
It's covered. Have it covered. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's the downside of some insurance companies, that they're not completely broad. Some are very specific, right? And I'm not going to name drop any insurance companies here, because that's not right. But that was just my personal experience. I still had to pay out of cost for something that I thought would have been covered under mine. But, you know, that aside, so when I think about that, and it was hard for me to pay for, only because it's just, I knew it cost a lot. A lot for me to feel annoyed by it. But then when you think about like citizens in the Philippines or citizens here in America, at least where I live, it's hard to get dental work done, or like dental work, or to get yearly checkups, or to do like those tests, like if we're not including like sexual health tests, right? Pregnancies, or even like pap smears, right? Mammograms, stuff like that. It's hard to set appointments, because either they're understaffed or they have too many appointments, you know, lined up already ahead of you, or it's just too costly. It's just too costly to do.
Yeah.
And I know that,
you know, that's the thing here.
Yes.
In the Philippines, like, insurance is not, I mean, there is insurance. There's insurance, of course, but like it's not as like rampant as here in the US. That's what I've really noticed here. Like, if you don't have medical insurance or any insurance, kind of insurance here, like, you're really in trouble. Like, you're really gonna have to like spend a lot. But while in the Philippines, like, you can get away with, like, if, for example, a dental work, it won't cost as much, because it's different. Like, it's the way of living here is different. That's what I've noticed in my 2.5 years of tenure here.
It's different to think about. And I think for me, when I think about insurance, is that I was never really taught up until I was an adult, and I had to do these decisions for
Now
myself.
adulting, man.
Yeah, I know. And then, asking my mom, who is in charge of handling insurance for everyone else in our family up until I aged out. I aged out of my parents' health insurance plan.
I'm gonna age out in a year.
Anyways, on that aside, but I aged out, so I had to get my own. So to keep, I guess, like consistency, I try to keep to my parents' versions of insurance, and it's a little difficult because they're kind of like, well, this is what I chose. I'm just like, so do you know anything about it? Can you teach it? They're like, call the number. It's just like. They do offer a lot of information, but for someone like me who's never formally educated, it's a lot to take into. So
You don't get a standard, right? Like,
yeah,
at
it's
my age, what do you think
yeah,
I should get?
Yeah, like in my age, what do you think I should be under? It's like I'm relatively healthy. I don't have histories of bad health, from both my parents' sides. It's hard to, it's like I am also, insert air quote, broke college student here, or ex college grad.
I was a broke college student.
But it was hard to do things like that. And then especially like things that I couldn't afford, which would be doctor's appointments or even like dental care. Like just even cleaning my teeth is just like, oh, you have to pay.
Yeah.
This is just on my last bill. It was like about $250 just for like things like cavities and all that fun junk,
That's a lot, man.
Oh yeah, you think? Obviously,
especially when you were a student.
Especially if you're a student. I mean, like obviously you pay for the time, like for the technicians to do your work and all that. Like that makes sense, but it's still a lot to think about when you're not.
It still hurts.
Sure, it still hurts my wallet. That it hurts so much. But,
yeah, man.
I mean, aside from thinking about cost, let's look into like some of the things that you've noticed in the Philippines here versus the United States. Menstrual products, right? Birth control pads, tampons. I don't know if they use cups in the Philippines. It's just putting it out there. What was it like there versus here in terms of like cost and access?
Oh, in my experience, like we also have like pads, tampons,
yeah,
cups,
of course,
and birth control pills. It was affordable, yes, but if there's like different kinds of products there, but like if you choose the economical products, like you would really like afford them, but like if you're I can feel for the people who really has nothing, they would even those they couldn't afford. So sometimes before, I remember when I was in college, we would partner with like certain communities near my school, and we would like organize events and donations, and we would include hygienic products with them, because like we researched like some of their needs, because before we organized the event, like we did a research on their community, and like it's we found out like it's one of those things that they kind of have like a problem, like in terms of hygiene, feminine hygiene, like they don't have
access
like, as much as that. Yeah, so like we have to give that too. Like it's sad, but in general, like if you're probably in the middle class and up, it's accessible.
It's accessible, but
it's
for those who are
relatively,
they're not from the metro, if they're further out from like the countryside, right? Very rural areas. It's hard to. And it seems like since you grew up middle class or upper middle class, depending on what you classify yourself as, it was easy for you to get your hands on those things.
Yeah.
You never had
I did.
Unfortunate accidents. Or maybe by accidents, like there was always one nearby, and you were going to go a day without, heaven forbid.
Yeah, I mean, as for me, because for me personally, like how I manage my period, when I buy like pads. I usually prefer pads because I'm not comfortable with anything else. So, but
That's okay.
I buy in heaps because I never know when it happens. So I'm irregular, by the way. Like, I mean, I'm putting it out there. I'm irregular, and
Mhm.
I've been having trouble. I've had a terrific experience with my menstruation ever since I got it. So
Oh yeah.
I always keep myself ready. So like I don't have to like worry when I need it because I've had moments that I really needed one and then I did. Bro,
Yeah, I know. I
let's not go
remember
back
you
there.
asked me during work. You would call me from the bathroom, and
Right. Oh
I
yeah.
remember. Yeah, you called me from the bathroom because like in our lab we're allowed to listen to our phones, so we could keep ourselves mentally active throughout the night.
Mm,
She would call me sometimes because she's irregular, and then like you said, she'd call me and she'd be like, "Hey, Jen, do you have a pad?" Because she knows that I would have one, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, sure." It's like, "Can you just come to the bathroom? I can't leave," and
I
I'm like,
know.
which I mean, it's completely fine, and
No, it's one of those few moments I never forget. But like sometimes, like when you're really like into life so much and you forget about your menstruation, your biological clock. Like,
it's
oops.
yeah. Like
Yeah.
you and I are irregular, and I think you're more irregular than I am. But
Yeah, I've been having a lot of problems.
I know
It's
that
hard for me.
it's definitely hard for me because between us girls, like there's often talks like, oh, our cycles are syncing up, but then sometimes when I'm not
It
regular,
wouldn't.
I'm just like, what do you mean syncing up? Oh, I haven't had it for 3 months, and then the joke's like, are you pregnant? I'm like,
Yeah,
no, I'm not pregnant. I just am irregular. It's so hard
that's so
not.
normal for
Oh,
me, for us.
it's normal for us because I think the most I ever gone was 3 months, which is a little concerning, but
Before, yeah.
yeah, it's just, oh, you went Wally. Anyways, it was just went high stress that tends to make me skip a couple months, which is not great. It's just my hormones.
Yeah.
But when you stress yourself out, to my knowledge, from my experiences in undergrad, when you're stressed out, your body does do a lot of different things when your body's under high stress. It can make you worn out, it can make you
Yeah.
exhausted, and then your hormonal imbalances are off a lot. So if you're expecting to
Yeah.
have a cycle, for at least a week, sometimes it may not happen, which is the unfortunate truth for you and I, CJ. It sucks.
Yeah.
Uh, but back to your earlier topic when you said you had to do you here in America we call it community outreach programs. You outreach
Mm-hmm.
to communities who may have less than what we have when it comes
Mm-hmm.
to feminine hygiene products or access to care, like you hosting like 1 day clinics just to check how everyone's been doing or they need to be referred to someone with more professionalism. Was there ever a moment in I'm trying to phrase this question properly. In my
You can do
head.
it.
In my head, what is this question? Uh shoot. That's weird. Never mind. Apparently I can't think about it
Yeah.
right now.
It'll pop up later, I guess.
It will pop up later, but that's surprising that even in the Philippines, a third world country, they are still doing their best to try to reach
Yeah.
healthcare needs
I mean,
to.
with all they have, they just have to do like what they can.
Yeah, especially like we talk about home remedies, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like what can you do to fight off a cold, a fever, all those traditional medicines? Because I know that.
Especially in this pandemic, right? You know what I do? I want to share this. Like,
Okay,
if
for the
if
pandemic.
any one of us feels like we're about to get like a cold, a cough, like if my mom hears a cough, like just a cough, she would have us drink ginger tea.
Oh God! Oh, I
But it
I
works. I mean, I
it
guess it works for
works.
me, but it works for me. OMG, like
You're barmy. That's not true.
I don't know, man. Maybe it's just us. or like it's a placebo effect, like it's in the mind and then the mind helps the body like heal. But I don't know, every time we drink that, like especially when I don't have enough sleep, my mom would like, you know how Filipino moms are, it's like, oh, you drink this ginger tea, it will help you feel better.
It's you're my mom did that too. Because I've mentioned this to you before when I was furloughed from my current job and I was sick for 2 weeks. No, I don't have COVID.
You were always sick, man.
Hey,
before
shut your mouth.
COVID happened, you fashioned the face masks.
Hey, I know I'm a trendsetter.
For the pioneer.
No. But when I was in bed for about 2 weeks, before the state like forced the lockdown, my mom would make me drink ginger tea. I believe it was I would like to think it was made from China. Like they send like teas and stuff and coffees like little packets. So she would pour me one, and it was the grossest thing that I've drank. It burned in all the wrong places.
Oh my gosh!
I would tell her, it's like, I think you're killing me.
But in our case, we would just like buy ginger and like boil it in water and like mix it with honey and any citrus fruit like calamansi or lemon. It tastes good, but like when you calamansi tea.
Have you ever tried it?
Yeah, I tried it. Did you like it?
No, you know.
I guess I have like more of a Filipino palate than you. I mean, you've seen me bring like different kinds of food that you don't like. Like what? What the heck are you?
It's just not my taste. I mean, I have tried it.
I get that.
But ginger tea, calamansi tea. Calamansi is a citrus fruit, very small, a lot smaller than a lime, and you would squeeze it. You know, kind of like you do with lemon tea. You'd squeeze it in a cup, and then you drink it straight, which is a nightmare for me. But I know that my parents have done roundabout way, like even Japanese ways to keep fevers down, like put a cool cloth on your forehead, you know, take a hot sauna or a hot shower to loosen up the airways. And especially since we didn't want to, not to say like go to the hospital because of COVID, because we weren't sure at the time in early March 2020, when I was sick. I was trying to.
What is March?
What's this been? 7 months ago. 7 months ago.
Oh my goodness.
But when it came to that, I just stayed home. I drank water, did just name dropping the product that we've used, Vicks. That's the one I've been using, like Vapor Rub. Basically Vapor Rub. I can't show it to the cat. Well, do I? No, I don't have it. No, but Vapor Rub.
It's a general product, but yeah.
Yeah.
It helps. I mean, it helps me.
It helps. Like Tiger Balm or anything to help loosen the things, because the last thing I want to do is to go to. This is my mom's complaint. I'm segueing into this. My mom's complaint when it comes to going to the doctor. She's a nurse. The reason why I'm bringing this up is that she would when I used to go to the doctor, so when I was younger, when I was really sick or I had like a really bad flu that wasn't going away, the doctor would prescribe like a painkiller. And then to her knowledge, she's like, it's just Tylenol. Like, come on. I wasted 3 hours of my day just to sit in this lobby. And
I have a story about that too. I feel you.
Yeah, it's like when she's like,
I think my mom is your mom.
It's like, oh yeah, it's acetaminophen. It's like that's essentially Tylenol. Like
it's a strong drug.
It's a strong drug, but that's sometimes why she's annoyed with the healthcare. It's like you have to wait a long time just to get something that you get over the counter for considerably less money. You know, depending on where you're from.
Exactly.
So what was your story about picking up medicine?
Remember that time I had all of my molars removed?
You had chubby cheeks. It was fun torturing you.
I sent you guys a message. I sent you guys a message on the group chat, but like the doctor like prescribed me like painkillers as well, and my mom was like, you don't need that, it's too strong for you. You can like get it, you get any type of you don't need painkillers, you just need to sleep it off. And it was so strong, man. I remember the time, like you don't have to
loopy?
I was loopy, man. Like, yeah, it was kind of the same situation as in your like in your with your doctor. Like, I didn't have to have that prescription. I can have like any kind of medicine. Like, it wasn't that
Yeah.
painful to begin with, but yeah, you know you get the point.
Yeah, it was those things like when I was getting formally educated here, right? Like primary school, secondary school, and college, they would really press like trust your doctors, trust your nurses, your medical
Mm-hmm.
aides, anyone who has formal schooling for their job. Like trust them because they've learned, they have the experience, like they could
Yeah.
walk the walk and talk the talk.
Yeah.
And then my mom, as a
Mm-hmm.
nurse, an LVN, she just like,
As a medical professional, they would question. My mom is like that too. Like, do you really need that?
because it's like, mom, it's like let's just go to the doctor. Let me just see what's wrong. It's like,
Exactly.
trust me, it's nothing serious. Like here, pop a Tylenol, go to bed. Trust me, you'll feel better in the morning. And most times she's right.
Yeah.
It's fair, but when as you're getting older, you want to try to make decisions for yourself, and you're like, I
Yeah.
really think this is something worth checking into, even though it will kill my wallet
Doesn't
later.
hurt to try. Yeah.
Doesn't hurt to try to get a second opinion, because you only get one
Yeah.
opinion when you refer to your parents, especially with the educational backgrounds that they have. And then here it's just, maybe I should trust my doctor. But then, you make the decision for yourself at the end of the day. It's like, oh, they prescribed acetaminophen. It's like Tylenol. It's like,
Yeah.
just use Tylenol. Or in your case, like painkillers, like lidocaine or something like that.
Yeah. I don't even remember what the brand is, but like as soon as I took it, like I was like dead.
Oh yeah, I remember I poked your cheek once and you
Yeah, I was
looked like
like,
you were going to
"What's
tear my head
this?"
off. Why are you? It's like, why do you got to do that, Chad? It's like, I want to see if she reacts because she looks loopy right now. But those were some of the like medical mishaps that we've experienced. Like we've went to make our own appointments. We've did yearly checkups when we should, right? Especially during work, they would do like, oh yeah, you could get your checkup like right now after your shift. It's like if our shift ended
Yeah,
at
right.
like 7 in the morning, when's your appointment? 10 o'clock. It's like, what am I supposed to do for 3 hours? I'm exhausted.
Right?
I'm tired. If I sleep now, I'm gonna sleep the rest of the day.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, especially for me, since I lived farther from my job, it's about a 30-40 minute drive back south from where I'm at, I would schedule my appointments in the morning. So when I said earlier, taking 3 hours just to get to see the physician doctor, right, it would take about 3 hours. So
Yeah,
if I left at 7, I would reach the clinic by 7:30. If my appointment was at 8, I wouldn't get seen by the doctor till about 9:30. Because they're
oh my
overworked.
goodness.
Yeah, they can get overworked and overrun, especially when I had that small medical emergency at the lab. It took 3 separate sessions, but all the sessions end by noon. And it sucked because it's like, wow, I've been here since 8 and I didn't get seen till like noon. What the heck? But that's just
Right,
the
like
reality for some clinics that are a little bit more accessible to the public, especially when you have walk-in appointments versus appointments. So it was a little harder to get speedy care because for us, we relied on speedy care because we don't have time to sit around. So you just gotta work till we're done, sleep, and go back to work.
Yeah.
Sleep.
But the sad reality is it doesn't go that way all the time. Like you're lucky if you get it done. I mean,
quickly.
Yeah, right? Like
And
you have in hindsight you need to get yourself prepared. Oh, worst comes to worst, I'm gonna sit here all day.
worst comes to worst, I'm gonna have to sit here all day. And then because we don't have families, like our own families, we didn't have to do necessarily like grocery shopping, or we had to do errands outside of work.
Yeah. It's different when we actually have families of our own. Like, oh, I can't do this. I can't stay here. I need stuff to. I need other stuff to do.
Yeah.
Like I need my kids. I need my kids to get tended to. Like.
Yeah, especially like some of our coworkers that they would leave at a certain hour because they have to get their kids ready for school, and they would have a nanny to stay the night, just so they're safe, and then by like 7 or 8, they would be gone from work, rushing their kids to get to eat breakfast, put on clothes, send them off to school, right? And then next thing you know, they had to do errands for the day. Like, oh, I need to get. We're just putting out there, just like general things. Like I need to get grocery shopping for the week, so I could, someone like myself or someone else in the family can make food and then prepare for like, oh, what if my son, daughter, or whoever I'm taking care of has to do classes like after school sports or after school tutoring, recitals, performances. And then
it's harder right now, especially during pandemic.
Oh, I don't know what that's like now.
I have a workmate. She has kids.
Is it who
Her
I think
kids
it is?
are like, I don't know, but her kids are young. They're young. They're still youngins. They're like in primary school, I guess.
Mhm.
And it's all online now. And you know how kids are generally if it was a normal day in school, it's rowdy. What more in online school? They need to have their parents there. So she needs to get out of work right away, sleep right away, and wake up at a certain amount of time in time for their class, and then stay awake until it's work time again. It's so hard.
The monitor.
Yeah. They can't. They should. They must be with the kid during the class, because like if it's rowdy in normal classroom setting, what more in Zoom classes? Like,
my sister's a teacher now. Just before we started this podcast
and then
episode.
when she told me about this, I didn't think about that because I don't have kids, so I never thought about that. Like, yeah, what how's it like for the parents right now of like small children? It's hell for them right now. Like, I feel for them.
Yeah, it's a different type of stress because my sister's a teacher right now. She teaches first grade.
Yeah.
So before I woke up, she was already having class. I believe it was.
How's it for her?
It's from what I've heard, right? I'm not supposed to be really listening in, but she was teaching the alphabet and how to for American English, like properly enunciate certain vowels, like gorilla, right? And then next thing you know, I've heard, okay, guys, I'll see you later for math class later. And I'm just like, oh no, the day's not over yet for her. But for her, she's been stressed out when it came to dealing with internet connectivity. Luckily for her, she's tech savvy. She knows how technology works. She knows how to work her way around it. But like you said, to your worker or coworker, parents with little children, to get them into a online environment is really hard. Not every kid could do it well, or they could adjust.
Your attention span is.
My attention span's low.
Like what more of kids?
They need to.
It's hard. I feel for them.
Yeah, it's that reality. And then like if we're gonna switch this back into like healthcare, I know that some of our friends, some of our companions who are going through rough times, or they needed to get appointments, they have to do it. Either they go in person, because it's mandatory for the condition that they're going under with a mask and everything. But to those who are not comfortable leaving their house, or they're too sick to leave their house, they have to do their appointments via Zoom.
Like that really breaks my heart. Like, when it comes to people like those, like, how can we help? Like, how?
Yeah, our former friend of ours who left the company to go to a different site location up north. She was telling me that how they did doctor appointments over there was a little strange. They use a more secure line of telecommunication, and it's kind of like this, kind of like Zoom. And then they would talk, and then it's like, all right, what do you have? It's like, all right, I have something here. I feel pain and here, but because sometimes doctors need to touch you, like, say, hey, like, how does it feel if I like touch this part, like your lymph nodes? How does it feel if I do this?
Yeah, it's hard. It's challenging. It's a good alternative, but it's not weird. Same. But yeah, it's not the same. Well, you don't have any other option. Yeah,
especially like if it's like at the earlier part of COVID, the early pandemic days, where it's just like you couldn't leave your house. It's like, oh, your tongue is swollen or whatever. It's like say like it's it's
Dude,
weird.
I had a dentist. I had a dentist appointment like a few months back. It was through Zoom, man. And the doctor had to like, can you do? And then can you put your jaw up so I can see the inner part of your teeth? Like awkward, but it works.
Like,
but
how close and personal do you need to get? Like, use your phone. Be like, all right, can you see?
Yeah, exactly. But it's a weird time these days. It's what else can you do? It's what technology is like practically our best friend right now. Like that's the only way for now. Like it's so hard, but
I mean, on that note, if you do have a real big medical emergencies, I highly urge you to go to your nearest emergency clinic to get that sorted out. But if it's something relatively mild and you just want a second opinion, set an appointment. Better safe than sorry. Okay, that's just my small insert for now.
No, that's correct. Like, yeah, that's if you're feeling something, that's your body. So you trust your body. Like if you feel something,
trust your gut.
Just your gut, and just call. Just call. Go to the nearest doctor clinic if you think it's something serious.
Mm-hmm. Like especially on that note, it was just recently. So you know how we said that like we would refer to our mothers, right? Because they have some sort of medical experience for relatively minor stuff. Like, oh, I have a cough. I think it's like phlegmy and gross. Like sleep it off, Tylenol, Tiger Balm, whatever, right? All the
ginger
tea, right? So I have a couple friends who are American, and they kind of do this. They kind of, I don't know how to phrase this properly. They'll put it off, right, until it's severe enough to go get checked. So my friend, she's a little bit older than me. I like to think that she's like about 27. She's 27, and she said that she might have broke a toe. And I'm like, might have, or are you sure?
How? Yeah.
She mentioned the way that she described it was she has a high pain tolerance, so it didn't bother her. But she said that her little pinky toe was a little purple, and she was texting this to me and this other guy. My other friend is a CNA, and I'm not a professional, so it's just kind of like I can't make in my own opinion. I'm not supposed to. But it's like if it's purple. Actually, let me rewind back a little bit. So, to my knowledge, the way that I know something is fractured versus something that is broken, it's like if it's broken, you can't you shouldn't be able to move it, because if you move it, you will scream.
It hurts. Yeah.
It will really hurt. If it's fractured, it will hurt still, but it's not like you're dying, right?
Yeah.
So then that's why I was asking, like, if you move it, does it hurt? Like a lot. It's like, can you even move it at all? Like, can you like wiggle it? So she's like, it hurts, but high pain tolerance. I'm not sure. It's like, I highly urge you to get that checked out, man. It's like, if I get off of work, if I'm allowed to take a day off, then I'll get checked out. I'm just like, I would like to think it's an emergency. You should probably get that checked out, because you don't want to make it worse. But
remember when I poked my eye? I tried working for 2 hours with one eye open. I was like, and then I asked somebody in the restroom, like, should I get this checked? I really think you should get that checked. You don't want anything to be on your eyes. Like, oh,
that's just work life here in America. It's like you kind of have to work through your pains. But like I said,
but it's worrying, right?
Yeah, it's a different type. It's work culture.
I hope her friend is okay.
Last I checked, she should be getting it checked out this week. So it's been a couple days. So it's a little concerning.
I hope her toe is okay.
I hope so too, but she should take the time. But like I said, like if we're gonna move away from work culture, like that is just some of the
I get you. I see where you're going.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Like
kind of
it's really work here over anything. Like
the
that's how it is here. Like everything is industrialized.
everything's industrialized. There's more emphasis that you need to work over concerning your health, and not just with
Yeah.
in your overall health. Like if you
That's what I've noticed ever
Mhm.
since I moved here. Like I feel you.
you need to be more conscious about your health, listen to what your body needs, you know, on top of anything. If you think something is a little off, it's always good to have a second opinion versus, it blows up in your face, or if it's, it ends up being a lingering feeling. We don't want to feel sick, obviously. We got things to
Mm-hmm.
do, we got people to take care of. So, again, if you feel like something is changing in your body that you can't really describe and you can't find an informed opinion, it wouldn't hurt to, get a second opinion, a professional opinion to sort that out. But it's more it's it's starting to change a lot lately, at least for the pandemic. A lot of people are finally seeing that, like, what it meant to be overworked, what it means to
Drastic changes.
yeah, what it means to take the time to really understand what your body needs. Like you said a while ago, we were very regular. Since the pandemic had started, I've became regular, and I'm just like, whoa, this is strange. Like,
It
but
happens. It
it happens.
happens.
It's when you take the time to really relax, or take a back seat from all the other types of stresses you have out there. If you have a more flexible schedule, then that's perfect. But those who have to keep to those regular strict schedules, like, please do.
Keep the grind going.
And it's already a grind. We're about to go another 3 months into, or it looks like we're going to go to the end of the year with this pandemic.
I think I've read recently. Dr. Fauci, is it Fauci or Fauci? Fauci.
Fauci.
The Dr. Fauci. Fauci. Oh, sorry for butchering your name if you're listening to this, but he said in a CNN article that the realistic timeline for like the COVID antidote to like be released to everyone is like by the end of 2021. So
Oh,
it's not
expected.
It's not far from it's expected, but to think about it, it's like okay.
Yeah, it's
I
kind
have to
of,
be prepared.
yeah, you have to be resigned to that fact. But then, like
It's not only our physical health, our mental health has been, everyone has been affected mentally.
Yeah.
So mentally, like
Mm-hmm.
everything is on a right.
Yeah. So since we're gonna, it's most likely that we're gonna be on this lockdown or modified lockdown for a little bit longer. It's important to think about yourself, and then also it is important to think about others. So this is my other insert. I'm gonna slip into this. So if you'd like to support
Getting ready for that ads.
I am not sponsored, by the way, but if you'd like to sponsor me, please send me a message on the business inquiry
Show
email.
some love. Show some love.
But since we did talk about all those things, like outreach programs that the Philippines has done, and then the outreach programs that we do here in the United States, if you'd like to send some extra support and extra love for Fulfilling Destiny, please consider donating some unused pads, tampons, pads and tampons, flushable wipes, clean underwear if you had spares. And what I mean by spares, like, not your old ones, like fresh ones that you never opened.
Imagine.
I'm just saying, like, please, like, so tampons.
Let's think hygiene here.
Just think hygiene, like fresh, unused undies, right? If you have spare pads and tampons that are well within the use, please consider donating them to Fulfilling Destiny. Or if you'd like, drop a monetary donation, please check out the links below, because we do need these, and it's been hard, especially in the pandemic. It's hard to go in ourselves with the long lines to go get these menstrual products. Like, going shopping is hard enough, but waiting in line just to get some of these supplies en masse, it's a different type of adventure. But like I said, if you'd like to support us, support this podcast, please check out those links below, and don't forget to hit subscribe. like, and comment.
Smash that subscribe button.
Smash that subscribe button. But since it's becoming around the hour, again, I'd like to thank CJ for popping into this podcast to talk about, one, our experiences, two, how it's like in the Philippines, a third world country versus the United States, and then what else we talked about? We talked about listening to your body and what it means to deal with listening to our mothers in terms of healthcare, and then listening to our doctors. But like I said, if you need a second opinion for anything, consult, talk to your family, talk to your doctors.
You have to have your voice.
Have a voice. Choose what's best for you and for your health. And then since CJ,
and follow this podcast.
Actually, since we didn't get to pick a title yet, so what would be the title for today?
Oh yeah.
Drink some ginger tea. Ginger
tea.
There it is. That's the name of this podcast. So until the next time we talk again, CJ, I'd love for you to come back. Until then,
I would love to be here again.
Ooh, I will hold you onto that, girl. But we haven't done the picture, so we gotta do that.
Oh yeah, wait, how do we do it? I'm not a tech savvy person, so
you have a Mac.
I dumb.
You have a Mac, so you could do it for us, since I can't do it on mine.
How do I do it? How? Oh
no.
Can you ask Editor-san how?
Editor-san is not awake.
Oh my gosh. Wait. Like,
if you're a Mac user, you should be able to do this.
Dude, I barely got this laptop. How do you expect me to know this? Wait. Do you want me to Google it?
We'll do that off air. But then again, until then, everyone, thanks CJ for hopping in.
Thank you, Jan.
I will see the rest of you this Friday night at 7:30. But yeah, so again, thank you for joining. Hit that subscribe, hit that like button, comment, and then support CJ and her makeup artist work on the description below. Okay? Bye.